Hello and welcome to this broadcast, which may be a little controversial to some, but to some, if you're enlightened and you understand where I'm coming from, it will be no bothersome to you at all. And to others, I hope it makes you think a little bit more outside of the box that you may be in. And again, I'm not against boxes. I'm not against Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Sikhism, Hinduism, Buddhism, whatever you are in. I'm not against you. I am not your enemy. I am your friend. I have been in many of the boxes that we talk about, and they have actually helped me, secure me, and to keep me safe from maybe atheism and agnosticism at times. So I'm very thankful for the boxes that I was a part of at one time. But through my journey, it's funny how the Creator has, especially in my past, planted truth there for me, planted nuggets for me along the path that I didn't really understand at the time. But as I proceeded within my journey, I became a little bit more understanding of what he was trying to share and what he was trying to do and show me. At the time, I was not ready. Many times, you're further along than you think you are, and many times you're further along than most people are. And the first thing was I was very much into prophecy, uh, the end of the world, Armageddon, and stuff as a Christian. And one of the topics that always intrigued me was the in the temple when the quote unquote the Antichrist would come along and um, declare himself to be God. And many times, you try to figure out what this is, and it's in the book of Daniel's and it's in the book of Revelation also, where it talks about something that's going to come into the temple and declare itself God and defame the whole temple situation. And these things really stuck to me. And I was listening to a video the other day, and I don't remember who it was, but they were sharing from a prospect of the big picture. Anyone who comes in and tells you that they're speaking exclusively for the Creator, anyone that comes in and tells you that this is the truth and any other truth, you'll be doomed, you'll be going to hell, you'll be whatever, you're not in connection with the Creator. This is the desolation that we read about. This is when someone is coming in speaking for the Creator, who they do not have authorization to do. And when they sit upon that throne and they tell you this is the way it is, this is the dogma that you must believe, this is the understanding you must have. And if you don't follow what I'm saying, you are speaking against the Creator. And once you do that, you're doomed to hell unless you repent and come back to that box. And it made a lot of sense because we're all looking for this future episode of when a temple is going to be built and someone's going to come in and say, I am God and all this kind of stuff. But really, that's what you're doing is when you step up and you're speaking for the Creator and you tell someone that is the only dogma, that is the only way that they can have communion with Him. You are standing in that position of desolation. You are telling people that you are God and you're speaking for the Creator. When in turn, the Creator does not need anyone to speak for Him. The Creator has been doing this for so long. He's been out there. He hasn't needed me. He hasn't needed anybody. When I was in the Pentecostal movement, we used to call them Deputy Holy Ghost because there's people that always seem to have a word or something like that to help you in your past. So when you fail or you fall short or something like that. And today, that's really what that is. The desolation that we're looking for is already happening with dogma. When preachers and teachers and rabbis and imams and whatever these great leaders tell you, I know the truth. The Creator spoke to me and said, this is the only way you can have communion with Him. Well, you've just set yourself in the position of God. And we really don't have a full understanding of who the Creator truly is. We don't know. What we're taught and what we know are two different things. Now, what I want to do today, I'm going to attempt to do, is I want to show two segments of two videos that I think are very thought-provoking, I'm not telling you that these guys have the truth. I'm not telling you to run to these channels and subscribe to them, although I enjoy the content that both of them share. I don't agree with all their views, of course, but the fact of the matter is they're sharing some truth and light. So the first one, and let me, as I always say, this is the adventure for me. Let's see here. Are you going to let me share here? Are you going to let me share? It's really not letting me share right now. So let me see what I'm doing wrong. Be patient with me here. As I try to get this thing going. All right, let's look at here. And I think we are on the right spot here. Make sure you can hear this thing. They didn't give me the option to. Let's play it. All right, let's play here. This is someone that I used to listen to quite a bit. I have lost contact with him, but I do want to play a segment of this video right here. Let's see what it's going to say here. Yes, I do want to share sound. Okay, so here we go. Let's try this. Here we go.
Back with our friend Spinoza.
Who was one of my favorite people in the past.
He was ahead of his time. I think he was way ahead of his time. And Marcia sent this, and y'all are going to love this. It's absolutely cool. And again, I'll be watching for Trina, hoping that she can get in here. All right, so this is a letter that he wrote, and little background on this. Okay, I'll just get into it. When Albert Einstein gave lectures at U.S. universities, the recurring question that students asked him the most was, "Do you believe in God?" And he always answered, "I believe in the God of Spinoza." Well, Baruch de Spinoza, he was a Dutch philosopher, considered one of the greatest rationalists of the 17th century philosophy, along with Descartes. Now, what's really interesting about Spinoza, we'll look at some of his background, his biography. He was a brilliant guy and was exceptionally bright and insightful on the tumult. He was Jewish and grew up in Jewish Amsterdam of middle class. Had he gone on through higher education, he probably was being groomed to be a rabbi, but he left to run his family business. And then something happened. They really don't go into it very deeply, but he was excommunicated. And to be ostracized by a Jewish community in the 17th century did not do your business very well, didn't do you very well. You had to eventually move, and that's eventually what happened. So Spinoza would say, God would say, stop praying. I want you to do, it says, what I want you to do is to go out into the world and enjoy your life. I want you to sing, have fun, and enjoy everything I made for you. Stop going into those dark, cold temples that you built yourself and saying they are my house. My house is the mountains. My house is in the woods, the rivers, the lakes, the beaches. That's where I live, and there I express my love for you. Ah, man, you close your eyes right now. You can just imagine walking on the beach. That's the Creator talking. That's God. Stop blaming me for your miserable life. I never told you there was anything wrong with you, or that you were a sinner, or that your sexuality was a bad thing. Sex is a gift I have given you, and with which you can express your love, your ecstasy, your joy. So don't blame me for everything they made you believe. Stop reading alleged sacred scriptures that have nothing to do with me. If you can't read me in a sunrise, in a landscape, in the look of your friends or your son's eyes, you will find me in no book. Stop asking me, will you tell me how to do my job? Stop being so scared of me. I do not judge you or criticize you, nor get angry or bothered. I am pure love. Stop asking for forgiveness. There's nothing to forgive. If I made you, I filled you with passions, limitations, pleasures, feelings, needs, inconsistencies. In other words, I gave you free will. How can I blame you if you respond to something I put in you? How can I punish you for being the way you are if I'm the one who made you? Do you really think I could create a place to burn all my children who behave badly in the rest of eternity? What kind of a God would do that? Respect your peers and don't do what you don't want for yourself. All I ask is that you pay attention to your life. That alertness is your guide. My beloved, this life is not a test, not a step on the way, not a rehearsal, nor a prelude to paradise. This life is the only thing here and now, and it is all you need. I have set you absolutely free. There are no prizes and there's no punishments. There is no sin or virtues. No one carries a marker. No one keeps a record. You are absolutely free to create your life, whether that be heaven or hell. I can't tell you if there's anything after this life, but I can give you a tip. Live as if there is not. Did you hear that? Live your life as if that the minute you die, you go out of existence. Lights out, baby. No memory of you. You don't exist. What you got is right now. What are you going to do with? What have you done with it? Like many of you, you've wasted it. We all have by our indoctrinations. And I'll just step aside here a second. You know, I'm covering a topic that's very controversial. 157 people in the community or subscribers have left. They can't handle anything outside their indoctrination. Probably can't handle this either. Let's continue. I can't tell you if there's anything after this life, but I can give you a tip. Live as if there is not. As if this is your only chance to enjoy, to love, to exist. Rush Limbaugh is dying. And I don't know if you caught what he had to say yesterday. When a dead man knows that he is living in his body, in other words, he has a death sentence. We all do. But you see, for those who have enjoyed life more, I think, and I would say this, probably have more means to enjoy life, you get attached to this life. And he doesn't want to leave. No one wants to leave the amusement park. No one. So if there's nothing after, then you will have enjoyed the opportunity I gave you. And if there is, rest assured that I won't ask if you behaved right or wrong. What I'll ask is, did you like it? Did you have fun? What did you enjoy the most? What did you learn? Stop believing in me. Believing is assuming, guessing, imagining. I don't want you to believe in me. I want you to believe in you. I want you to feel me in you when you kiss your beloved, when you tuck in your little girl, when you caress your dog, when you bathe in the sea. Stop praising me. What kind of egomaniac God do you think I am? I'm bored with praise. I'm tired of being thanked. Feeling grateful? Prove it by taking care of yourself, your health, your relationships, the world. Express your joy. That's the way to praise me. Stop complicating things and repeating as a parakeet when you've been taught about me. What do you need more miracles for? So many explanations? The only thing for sure is that you are here, that you are alive, that this world is full of wonders. Now, that was Spinoza's point about God. I'm going to see if Trina, no, I guess she just can't get in today. Well, that sucks. Hopefully she's into the chat room. I haven't seen her there either. So I like the dude. I like the way that he expresses himself. And yeah, Sandra, it is awesome, isn't it? Now, you know what? The Jews didn't like his message. The Christians didn't like his message. The devil worshipers, the witches, the rest of them, they didn't like this message at all. Why? It completely invalidates every belief, every God, because it's realist. He is a realist. He taught realism. We have discussed it here, and I was looking, like I said, with Miss Trina, but why would a God want to be worshiped? You know, of all the hate mail I've gotten from mostly Christians, and it's all been from Christians, is that they'll never answer that question. Why would any God want to be worshiped?
You see, the Garden of Eden represents a low state of awareness, a lowered, sleepwalking consciousness. And in this garden, you are the servant, a slave to a god. God represents the old worlders and the dark minds behind them. They're the controllers of the world, and they want you to remain in a state of lowered consciousness so that you will never realize your power and remain their servant and slave. They know that if you eat from the tree of knowledge, that is, if you understand the truth of reality, what you are, who you are, and where you are, that you will see through their lie and overthrow their rule. That they will no longer be God, and that you will become as God. So they condemn knowledge. They make knowledge forbidden and off limits. They make it a sin. They make that which would liberate you something that you can never have. They are abject liars, as they are in the story of the garden. God claims that they'll surely die, and the serpent tells them that they won't. Well, do they die after eating from knowledge? Of course not. But the serpent claims that they'll become as gods. Do they? After they eat from the tree, they are banished from the garden. Now, what does this represent? Remember, the garden is a lowered state of consciousness. As they say, ignorance is bliss. After they eat, this represents humanity after coming to knowledge of themselves and the world, going from a lowered state of consciousness to a higher state of consciousness. Now, a person that has done this looks around and sees the vile state of the world. That is, that it's a terrible slave society. And once you see this, you can never return to the garden of ignorance. Once you know, you cannot unknow. Once you have reached a higher state of consciousness, you can't return to a lower state. You realize that society is a sham, that you've been told it's a paradise, but that it's actually a hell. And so you leave your state of ignorance. You leave the garden. Now, if you continue to grow in knowledge and in wisdom, you will reach even higher levels of consciousness. You'll no longer be a slave to a fabricated God in the sky. You shed the lies of the rich elite old worlders. As you continue to grow, evolve, and increase your power, you become as God. You bow to none. You become master of yourself. Now, this is a frightening thought to most people, most Ignavi. Many say that they want freedom when they actually don't. They want a master to tell them what to do. But Hyperions are masters of themselves. They create themselves, their lives, and the world. The Garden of Eden is a metaphorical story about our struggle against the old worlders and the minds behind them. As always, they seek to represent us as evil. They condemn any bringer of knowledge as evil and satanic. This is shown through the condemnation of the serpent. This story gives a peek at the struggle that has been raging for millennia between us and the old worlders, between freedom and slavery, between lies and wisdom. The serpent is a symbol for wisdom. It's our symbol. We are the serpent of wisdom, bringing humanity knowledge of good and evil, or, in contemporary terms, free of moral absolutism, shadow and light. This has been going on behind the scenes.
So there was two different videos there, two different views of the situation, but both of them would agree one thing, that we are slaves. I mean, we are slaves to dogma. We are slaves to religion. We are slaves to, to the people over us. We work not to support our families, although that's the key knowledge thing that we do. We actually work to support the system, to pay taxes. I mean, they would never want us to work jobs where we did not pay into the system. We have to pay into the system, not just to our families. So the whole way we're set up here in this lifestyle is a lie. It's a total lie. The whole situation of entertainment, the whole situation of movies and football and sports and stuff, it's all to just numb you from the realities that are really going on around you. And this is the purpose of this video. Don't be that person who claims to have all of the knowledge, who knows everything. Spinoza was one of my favorite people when I studied 8 years ago. And then I met Martin Buber. These people broke they broke the whole system of Judaism. They broke the whole system of religion to show you the divine God wants you to live your life the best you can. Make the decisions. What kind of God would create you knowing that you're going to fail so that he can punish you? I mean, that would be like me giving my 12-year-old daughter a gun loaded and say, don't go shoot nobody. And you hope that she does the right thing. But as a 12-year-old, she's going to probably do something stupid. You would hope that she wouldn't, but she would. So I would never put my daughter in that position to place her in a point of danger. Neither would God. God would never do these things either. And I know a lot of people are saying, you're misunderstanding. You have to look at the spiritual understanding of the scriptures to understand them. Yeah, I get it. I love Kabbalah. I love Sufi. I love all these things. And I believe they're definitely more true than what we have within the written word. But even with that, at some point, you have to break away and see the light in the darkness in the scriptures that you're giving to truly understand and to break free from the realities that you're truly living in. So don't be the Antichrist. Don't be that one that steps up in the Holy of Holies and declare that you are God, knowing all truth, and you know all understanding of the Creator, and your dogma is the only way. Because when you do that, you're taking yourself in the position of God in the wrong way. You're not taking on his divinity of love and life and freedom. You're taking on a dogma. You're taking on a stance that you alone, or your group alone, or your religion alone has the truth, and no one else has the truth. And when you do that, you're doomed. So have a great day. I hope these videos kind of maybe open your mind a little bit into the understanding that God is for you. God is cheering for you. God is in you, and you are part of God, not a slave in the sky, hoping that you mess up. That's my cat in the back. Hoping that you mess up and he can murder you. Excuse me. Like I'm going to murder this cat. I'm not. But if he keeps on climbing up. So know your freedoms. Live life like you're dying. You are dying. Every day we get closer to that final reality. So live life full, live it full, respect others, respect yourself, and you can't go wrong. Shalom, shalom. Thank you. Have a fantastic day. And thank you. Rebel Preacher out.